Call our City Commission meeting to order, September 17, 2007. Call roll, please.
Stevens.
Here.
Schran.
Here.
O'Neill. Here. Mills.
Here.
Young.
Here.
Peterson. We have a quorum.
We have a quorum, thank you. Well, we're supposed to have Reverend Bob Searle from University Baptist Church, and since I don't see him, we're going to ask Leroy, would you come up and pray for us? All who wish to, please rise.
Let's pray. Our Lord, we thank you that we can come to you today. Thank you, Lord, for being so kind to us and so merciful. Thank you, Lord, for the help that you give us every day. We thank you, dear Lord, for directions, and we thank you, Lord, for your help that you are always giving to us when we need it. And Lord, we come to you this evening and pray that in this meeting that you would give directions. Lord, we always need your help, and we pray for your help, and we pray for your blessings to be upon this city. And dear Lord, that we will do everything that we can to make Shawnee the very best place to live. Your blessings be upon all now, in the name of the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit. Amen.
Amen. Please join me in the Pledge of Allegiance. Attention, position, pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thanks, Leroy. Thanks for bailing us out. Okay, number one, consider approval of agenda.
I move to approve the agenda.
Motion by Commissioner Young,
Second.
second by Commissioner Schran. Call roll, please.
Young.
Aye.
Schran.
Aye.
O'Neill. Aye. Mills.
Aye.
Stevens.
Aye.
Motion carries.
Motion carries. Thank you. Number two, consider approval of consent agenda.
Move to accept.
Motion by Commissioner Schran,
Second.
second by Commissioner Young. Call roll, please.
Schran.
Aye.
Young.
Aye.
Stevens.
Aye.
O'Neill. Aye. Mills.
Aye.
Motion carries.
Motion carries. Thank you. Okay, number three, citizens' participation. Come up. All right, one at a time. Line up, queue up. Stranger.
Howdy.
You know the drill.
My name is Tom Claybrook, and I live at 1501 North Union here in Shawnee. I've just got a short comment that I'd like to make this evening. Approximately 7 years ago, the city government of Shawnee promised the children of Shawnee that it would build them some decent sports facilities, sports fields. And they appropriated $1 million to start that process. Please do not renege on that promise. Let's build those fields, and let's build them now. Thank you.
We won't renege, I promise.
Good evening. My name is Trey Davis. I am a member of St. John Lutheran Church and a member of the Congregational Council. Also with me here this evening is contingents of our congregation. As is typical with Lutherans, you'll find them on the back rows, with the exception of my dad, who seems to want to be up front. It won't take a lot of your time. Mr. Mayor, I have a handout. May I pass it out? We are in the process of constructing a new building. St. John Lutheran has formally been in our community since 1909, although Lutheran missionaries came along with the second land run of 1891, which established residency in this county. For 93 years, we have worshiped at 215 West Wallace, and for 20 years or so, members of our congregation have dreamed and planned and prayed for a new building, one that is handicap accessible, one that will help us in our mission of serving our community in the world. We are on the verge of starting construction at 3610 North Union, a property that is located almost equidistant between Will Rogers Elementary and the middle school. We submitted the reason I'm here tonight is twofold. One is that we submitted the plans and requested permits in May with the city. Those have still not been granted. The other thing is we're a small congregation, and I don't know if you've had an opportunity to read a letter from our council that was dated August 31st or my email today, but we want to bring a group to Shawnee called Mission Builders. It's part of the Evangelical Lutheran Church in America. They travel across the country helping to build churches. We can save approximately, well, at minimum, $200,000 in the cost of construction and perhaps more. The way they work, though, is that they live on site. And what we are requesting is a variance or a waiver of any and all ordinances that would prohibit the location of recreational vehicles on the building site. In the handout that I gave you on the cover is, the first page is a picture of Lord of Life Lutheran Church in Edmond. The city of Edmond granted Mission Builders such a permit several years ago, and they helped the congregation at Edmond construct the church. On the third page of the handout is a photograph that I thought was interesting. You can see in the top right corner a church under construction with 7 RVs parked there, and the reason I'm pointing it out to you is just how clean that property is. Mission Builders is a group of retired individuals. They are former tradespeople, insurance men, doctors, retailers, and they are very dedicated to their mission and in accomplishing their task. And we had hoped to be on the agenda tonight. That did not happen. I don't know if it's possible for you to consider our request under new business, or if you have a special meeting planned, if we could be added before your next regular council meeting, if we could be added to that agenda. You may ask, after 20 years, what is our hurry? Basically, we've got movers waiting to move the earth. We have steel that will be arriving at the end of the month for erection of the building, and we need to get on Mission Builders' calendar. And they need to know that their presence is welcomed by the city of Shawnee before they will schedule us. Oh, and by the way, this is the church. So, and when it's completed, it has an appraised value of $1.45 million. So it's a positive addition to the city of Shawnee. So thank you for your time.
Thanks, Trey.
Commissioner and Mayor, I'm Arnold Davis. I'd like to add just one or two things to what Trey said. I hesitate to do that because he's a much better speaker than I am. The thing we need the most from you gentlemen tonight is to find our plans and then possibly instruct the planning department or whoever has them to either approve them or disapprove them so we can get straightened out. About a month ago, I was told that these plans had left the planning department. They didn't know where they were. They didn't know whether the fire marshal had them or what. They still have not been approved.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thanks, Arnold. Check it out.
Janetta Towns. A concerned citizen. A while back it was brought to my attention that the city may be red tagging some residents of Shawnee for polycart not following or complying to the rules for the polycart policies. And I want to know, can we send some red tags to LI Waste in return? And the reason I say this is because down the corner from my house, this polycart full of trash has been sitting on the corner over 2.5 weeks. No one picked it up, but LI Waste has been out there on a weekly basis. And this trash began to stink. It was outside the normal household trash. But I was given to understand, and correct my assumptions if that's not it, but I was given to understand that regular household trash is picked up on Mondays, on Wednesdays, other stuff. Well, this other stuff sat in the polycart for over 2.5 weeks, started to stink, smell worse than the skunk. Thought it followed me down Farrell Street. Then I realized, oh no, that's the sewage stinking. So there's a lot of fumes going on in the area that I live in. And I'm wondering, can we red tag LI Waste? This morning I dropped my son off at school. I came back home and there was LI Waste in front of my house. They finally picked up that trash. They finally got that polycart. And the thing about it, it was not the automatic trash, polycart trash disposal. It was a regular trash truck. So now I ask the question, why, somebody please remind me, why did we go with LI Waste when BFI is doing the same thing that I saw them doing this morning? So I'm for change. For change is for good. But if it's not doing any good, then why change it? Thank you.
My name is James Graham, and I live at 30 7th Street in Shawnee. And I came to you some time ago and talked about some flooding that had occurred at my house. And that was the third time this year that I have been flooded. On the 19th of August of this last year, I experienced some more flooding. This is the fourth time that I have been flooded at my house. And I wish to show you what it looks like when the floods are going here. Yeah, we'll do it on the big. Go back down. Yeah, it's not showing the video.
I can hear it.
Yeah. Let's see if I can get it done.
Sounds like water running.
Yeah. See if it'll work here. Yeah. And hold the monitor up and let you see it there.
What's the address?
The address is at 37th Street in Shawnee. On the video here, it is running 4 inches deep in the streets. It comes across my neighbor's yard. It's about 18 inches deep, and there's a gentleman that's to the. It's at the bottom of between Ayers and 7th Street along Union, and my house, it floods the whole backyard. It floods through the gentleman right there on Union. His yard was 18 inches deep. The lady next to him is 71 years old. She's a widow. It's running 12 to 18 inches deep in her yard. The gentleman or the lady that's right next to her, she's about my age. She's undergoing recovery from treatment for stage 4 cancer. And they were supposed to have come out at the end of the last rains and come out and sterilize the yards because it carries all the cat and dog stuff from everyone else's yard down through that drain, and it comes across our yards. And it came through. This is the fourth time this year that I've had the water's coming into my basement like a bathtub. It was spilling in a wall this wide and that thick, spilling into my basement off the back end, and it was coming into my garage, 4.5 inches into my garage. And this is the second time this year I've had wood cut for cabinets in my garage. I sell to a gentleman in Colorado. This is the second time I've had damage to the wood that was already pre-cut, ready to go together for cabinets. I've had over $5,000 in damage in materials and time. And some years ago, whenever they had the section on Park Street that goes off the Union around the little park area, they replaced something that was about a 4 foot by 4 foot open culvert with a 3 by 3 box culvert. That box culvert has become plugged. It's no longer draining. And this one here on the 19th was a standard rain, and it came up 26 inches on the outside of my garage. I have to put plastic across. Every time it rains, I run down in panic and put plastic across my doors in order to try and keep some of that water from coming in. But I teach. 2 days before I had students, I had 8 inches in my basement. I burned out a shop vac this year. When FEMA came through with all the flooding, they gave me a grand total of $100 to cover 54 sheets of sheetrock that had molded all the way up to the top. My son has allergies. I had 20 days worth of cleanup on that. I am a single man with 2 kids, and I'm having to try to handle that kind of a burden. And it's something that needs to be done. It needs to be done quickly. Thank you for your time.
Thanks, James.
Again, we have an item on the agenda to talk about a work session on this very issue.
Okay.
Later in the
Good evening. My name is Charles George. I too have a flooding problem. I live at 124 Meadow Lane. And I too have been flooded 4 times this year. It don't just come in my garage. It comes in my garage and out my back door. There's a few people here on the board that know about my problem. But I've been flooded 5 times in the past 2 years.
Can you raise your microphone with us, please?
Okay. And just recently replaced all the baseboards, all the carpet. And it wasn't 3 days later, I got flooded again. And I've done numerous things to try to stop the water, building walls, put in new front doors, try to seal my garage. I've got it to where I only get about a foot of water inside the front door on my new carpet. But it's a real problem. And the city has known about this for 25 years. And nothing has been done. And hopefully, since FEMA has been aware of our problem, and the president knows about our problem as far as flooding and everything, we can get something done about the flooding and the water runoff. And I appreciate your time. Thank you.
Anyone else? Okay, we'll move to some proclamations and presentations. We're going to address some of these issues. Again, the flooding was another one that next Monday special session, right?
No, sir, we're going to do item 19.
Oh, 19 tonight.
Another work session.
Okay.
We can talk about it a little bit next Monday.
Okay.
But it's a session by itself.
Okay. Okay, my first proclamation is for the state of Oklahoma Centennial. And we have a few members of the committee and one of the chair people. Ann, are you the only? Actually, there's not really that many. I'd really like for the Centennial Committee to come up. There's a lot of hard work that's happened here in planning. Cliff, you're over there with your photo and taking shots, and you guys come on up here. 19 months ago, after a presentation by Blake Wade of the Oklahoma Centennial Commission, I appointed a committee. It started off with a group of about 6 and grew to 33, or actually I always think there's more than that. It seems like that room fills up with different people all the time. But a lot of ideas were generated. This is a big deal. This isn't going to happen again, obviously, for another 100 years. And I don't think there's probably anybody in this room. Well, Kelly, maybe your daughter. She lives to a ripe old age of 100 and something, 2 or 3 or however old she is. But this is something that's very special to the state, and it should be special to the citizens in Shawnee. And I have a group of outstanding individuals that have stepped up, given their time. We've met a lot and worked through a lot of issues, and that's all going to happen this weekend. Friday and Saturday will be the culmination of all that hard work, and I'll tell you, Saturday is going to be an overload of things to do. There is no doubt if you come downtown, you'll be entertained from 8:30 in the morning till 10 o'clock at night or 10:30 at night. There's just something going on nonstop in the park or down at the depot or the library or up and down Main Street. So I want to make this proclamation, and Ann Davis and Beverly Mosman were the co-chairs, and I have some of the other committee members here. Rod, you'll get to step here because, well, you have to go back maybe and get your egg, but we're going to do you next. This is a proclamation declaring September 21st and 22nd, 2007 as Shawnee's Centennial Celebration in the city of Shawnee, Oklahoma. Whereas during Oklahoma Centennial, America will commemorate 100 years of Oklahoma's contributions to our country, and the observance of Oklahoma's 100th anniversary is an occasion of deep pride for Shawnee as well as for the nation. And whereas the leaders of this community recognize and respect the fact that Oklahoma was a territory set aside for Native Americans prior to the land run, and are proud of the contributions to our history from this era. Whereas Shawnee, Oklahoma became a melting pot of many cultures when the land was opened for settlement on September 21st and 22nd, 1907. And people from all over the globe came to stake their claim. And whereas from town to town and border to border, the celebration of a lifetime is already well underway. And whereas Shawnee is an official Oklahoma Centennial Celebration city and will host several activities on September 21st and 22nd, 2007, in conjunction with the land run of the Shawnee area, which will include dedications of the Louise Fluke Memorial, Centennial County Towns, Centennial Park, open house celebrations of the Santa Fe Depot, CPN Cultural Heritage Center, Maybe Guerra Museum, Shawnee Alumni Museum, and the Beard Cabin. And whereas other activities, including the unveilings of the Horse in the City Art Project, and the Photo History Mural, also the Statehood Ball, fireworks display, Irish dancers, Citizen Potawatomi fancy dancers, Los Niños dancers, Statehood Parade, Santa Fest, and much more. Now therefore, I, Chuck Mills, Mayor of the City of Shawnee, Oklahoma, by the authority vested in me, do hereby proclaim September 21st and 22nd, 2007 as Shawnee's Centennial Celebration in the city of Shawnee, Oklahoma, dated the 17th day of September, 2007. So Ann, come over here, please.
I just want to remind everybody that we're going to have a wonderful ball on Saturday night. The tickets are $25 a couple, and that includes your dinner, and that's fried chicken, mashed potatoes and gravy, green beans, coleslaw, hot biscuits, and cobbler. So that's, and the ladies are going to be crowned, and the king will be crowned. We have 6 categories ranging in age from 65 and older to 12 and under, and everybody will be recognized in that category. And our wonderful mayor will be there to MC the coronation, and the winner will be chosen by a penny a vote. So support these wonderful candidates. It's going to be a real fun time. They're going to be in the parade on Saturday morning, and they'll have their canisters. There was a reception at Bank First today. There'll be one at First National Bank tomorrow, our Vest on Wednesday. Thursday will be First United, and Friday will be at Mid-First Bank. And then we're going to be at the ball game, and all the Queen candidates and King candidates will be introduced at the ball game, and then you'll see them in the parade. So please buy your tickets. I have them at Elle's Jewelry. Karen Devereaux has tickets. Linda Brown has tickets at, I don't know what's the matter with me. I should have brought my notes. I didn't know I was going to do this. But anyway, we're thrilled to do this, and it's been a great honor to be asked to be a part of this great celebration. So we want you all to participate. Thank you so much.
Also, of course, we're going to kick off Friday down at the Santa Fe Depot at 11 o'clock. We'll have the Louise Fluke dedication with a lot of speakers, and we'll have the Centennial Park dedicated, and the cities and towns of the incorporated cities and towns of the Potawatomi County will all be recognized and honored, and especially those that are centennial communities, which we have a lot that are 100 years or over 100 years old, and also businesses. So come down Friday, and really Saturday. Saturday's the big day, especially starting with the parade at 10 o'clock, and it's going to be off the charts for us. So everybody's going to have a good time, and we'll have good weather. Oh, single for 15. What a bargain. Okay. All right. Thank you, guys. I appreciate it. Okay, next we'll have a presentation of State of Oklahoma Centennial Commemorative Egg by Rod Hopper. And Rod spends a lot of time. I can't imagine all the little intricate details and hidden compartments and things. So, Rod, will you give us a little information on that?
Excuse me. Well, okay, now turn the order. These seen too. Started with an emu egg. It bears the image of the first state governor, Governor Haskell, and the current state governor, Governor Henry. Along flanking each of the pictures is the American flag of that era and the state flag of that era. And then on the front is the Great Seal of the state of Oklahoma. On the back is a descriptive scroll. Of course, in Fabergé style, it does have a surprise in it. And it's being contrary. There we go.
Wow.
Inside is a folding screen of 5 pictures. On the back is the beard cabin seal that Cliff Lehman designed. On the other side are 5 historic buildings in our community, also drawn by Cliff Lehman. He graciously allowed me to use them. I did color them, and they all nest inside.
Now, where's this going to be displayed?
Good question. I don't know. That's okay.
Did we do that library last time? Don't we have a display case?
They do.
Or we can display it. Do we have a display out here?
We do.
Okay. Maybe we can
That's
display it out
beautiful.
here.
Yeah, that'd be great.
Okay.
There is a description
Okay.
of the project.
Excellent.
Signed by me.
All right. Very good. Thank you, Rod. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Let's set that over here.
Yes. Okay.
That'll make you nervous. Okay, it's my privilege to be able to finally present some certificates for the retiring Airport Advisory Board members, and I had to wait because Terry Toole, the former chairman, was out of town for a month, and so I had to wait for you to get back. I was going to do this earlier, so you guys can blame him for not getting your certificates earlier. If you would, I would like for, let's see, Don Dudley's not here, right? Jim Tahari, you're here. Wes Maynard. I see most of the Davis family, but I don't see Ron. Ron didn't make it? You didn't drag him up here? And Terry Toole. You guys come forward, please. This group of individuals I found out at the airport. I don't know if they were abused or ignored or whatever, but they continue to function and have meetings, even though there was really not any money that they could grow the airport with. And fortunately, I found them, and I drug the city manager out, and we all started thinking and working together here to imagine what our airport could be like. And for many years, we've been fortunate enough to have an instrument landing system that's state-of-the-art, that people can come in and hit a frequency, and it lights the runway up. And it's really a cool deal. And we've got a 6,000-foot runway. We have 400 or 500 acres around that particular airport, and now we have the Economic Development Foundation and the Chamber all focusing on the growth. And this is low-hanging fruit out here at the airport for growth for our community. And these guys were actually fighting along the way until their term limits came up. But we found a way to keep them involved, is we've generated 3 committees, one on infrastructure, one business plan, and one for stakeholders for the tenants. And these guys will all be involved in that at some point, because we're just not going to let their expertise get away. But I feel it's only fitting that we at least recognize them and their time and effort that they've given to the airport board. And Terry Toole was a great chairman for quite a few years. I'm not sure how many, but a great leader, and we're very fortunate, and we've had great board members as a result. I'm going to read yours. Certificate of Appreciation presented to Terry Toole in recognition of your service to the community by serving on the Airport Advisory Board. Signed and sealed the 17th day of September 2007. So Terry, I'm going to give you yours. And Jim, I have these in order actually. Let's see if I get lucky one more time. Oh, and Wes. Wow, how about that? Let's get her shot over here. See if we get time to take a picture. Okay, is that good? All right. You want something? Or? No. Okay. I appreciate your service and look forward to squeezing a few more volunteer hours out of you through this committee. So thank you, guys. Okay, the last is the Citizen of Shawnee Employee Appreciation Week. Kelly, are you accepting that, or who's? Yeah. Kelly? Personnel? Right? Sure. Okay. A proclamation declaring September 23rd through 29th, 2007 as City of Shawnee Employee Appreciation Week in the city of Shawnee, Oklahoma. Whereas, in a showing of appreciation for the hundreds of hardworking employees here at the City of Shawnee, the City of Shawnee will celebrate the first City of Shawnee Employee Appreciation Week, September 23rd through 29th, 2007. And whereas Employee Appreciation Week gives the City of Shawnee the opportunity to recognize and say thank you to all the employees for the important contribution day in and day out. The City of Shawnee employees selflessly serves the community with devotion and loyalty. And whereas this special week was established as a means to acknowledge our City of Shawnee employees who best exemplify the spirit and sacrifice of public service. And whereas the City of Shawnee can only be as good as the men and women who work for the City of Shawnee, and bring recognition to our city employees for their dedicated efforts and outstanding professionalism. And whereas the creation of the Employee Appreciation Week is a way of bringing excitement and motivation into the work week. And whereas we commend the outstanding and dedicated employees of the City of Shawnee and hope for that spirit of a job well done will continue throughout the year and far into the future. Now therefore, I, Chuck Mills, Mayor of the City of Shawnee, Oklahoma, by the authority vested in me, do hereby proclaim the week of September 23rd through 29th, 2007 as City of Shawnee Employee Appreciation Week in the City of Shawnee, Oklahoma, dated the 17th day of September 2007.
Thank you. I'm Kelly Howard, the Personnel Director for City of Shawnee, and this is something that our office and personnel wanted to do to make sure that we start creating a lot of motivation in our workforce among our employees, as well as begin a good tradition of recognizing and appreciating their day out and day out efforts. We all know how hard it is, and I think that we take a lot of the employees and what they do every day basically for granted, I believe. You know, I just expect that my water's going to be there, and I expect my trash is going to be picked up. It's kind of a, you know, and a little funny, I guess. It's probably bad use. Anyway, we want to make sure that we say, you know, thank you to our employees and also recognize them for the efforts that they do, not just for exemplary type of service, but also their day in and day out efforts that they make. So thank you very, very much. I appreciate it.
Thank you, Kelly. Okay, number 5, City Manager's presentation of Employee of the Month to Terry Cook, Safety Officer. And the man in safety yellow there.
I really like his shirt, you know.
I think we could turn the lights off and find him.
Probably. It's a great privilege for me to acknowledge Terry as our Employee of the Month. He's been with the city since June of '03. He has over 30 years in the safety field, and he holds an advanced safety certificate from the National Safety Council. He's married and has 3 daughters, son, stepdaughter, stepson, and 2 granddaughters, right? Wow. Okay. In the information I have, he states that his ultimate objective is to make sure that all the employees have the tools they need to do their job and to go home with the same 10 fingers and toes they came to work with at the start of the day. So does that mean they can trade during the day, or I was kind of wondering about that one. Okay, Terry's a valuable member of the team. He's real good about making sure that our workplace is a safe place. We've had some interesting discussions over the last 3 years, and particularly on how to set up street repairs and confined space entries and a whole host of areas that employees very often do get hurt. And so I really appreciate your efforts. Do you have any comments you want to make or anything? Okay, here you go.
Okay, number 6, consider conducting interview with applicant Carl Holt for Ward 6 commission seat.
I'd like to make a couple of comments first, if it's all right, Chair.
Okay.
In case there's somebody that doesn't realize what we're about to discuss, it pertains to Article 3, Section 8 of the City Charter, stating when a vacancy occurs in the office of Commissioner, the Board of Commissioners by a majority vote of the remaining commissioners shall appoint the person meeting the qualifications for the vacant commissioner's seat to serve until the next general or special municipal election, among other things. And at the bottom of that section, it refers to state law. State Statute 11-8-109. In part, it states, if the vacancy has not been filled within 60 days after it occurs, the governing body shall call for a special election. or a special town meeting, which isn't the case for us, for the purpose of filling the vacancy for the duration of the unexpired term. Now, why I'm reading this is, first of all, without any prejudice whatsoever, I'd like to thank Mr. Holt for submitting his application and his resume. But I feel I've always advocated, along with other commissioners up here, that the people are the ones we represent. And I feel the people should have a hand in an important decision like this. I don't think we should leave it to 4 or 5 or 6 commissioners. You know, we're not infallible. So therefore, with that in mind, I would like to make a motion not to consider an interview with Mr. Holt at this time.
And for what reason?
I feel the people should be able to make this choice. It shouldn't be the 4 or 5 commissioners.
But we've set a precedent by appointing 2 other people during our term, all of our, you and I and Marva anyway. We've had 2 other appointments made.
That's
And the
right.
people in Ward 6 deserve a representative like all the other wards in this community.
Well, according to state statute, they can have that. 60 days will be up from the end of David's Daugherty's resignation, October 1st.
At a cost of $10,000 for a special election.
8,200. I read
Well,
the check.
8,200, I mean, there's a lot we can do with
We spend a
8,200.
lot more than that on
And
more
that's,
trivial things.
well, it's silly though, to throw 8,200 when we have a qualified candidate
Well,
from that ward.
I made a statement, and that's my opinion. But we can.
Well, you're entitled to your
We
opinion.
can act that way, or we can act another way.
Yeah. Well, people deserve representation, so, and you've got a good qualified candidate that can represent Ward 6, and they should be allowed to do that. At least for until, it's June is the next filing period, it's not that long. So, we need to have a full house here, and they need representation.
Well, they can have representation if they call for a special election.
And you have an opportunity to interview this individual to see if you think he's qualified.
We've all
You
read
should
his
have that
resume
opportunity.
and his application. We know him, we know about him. Like I said, without any animosity, any prejudice, I feel this is the best way. I feel this is the people's choice,
Well,
not our choice.
that's your choice at a cost of, like you said, $8,200, which is pretty frivolous, I believe.
Well, we spend a lot more on a lot less.
I disagree, but that's your opinion.
Hey,
So-
Mr. Kenneman, can I ask a question? Because now I'm confused. Okay, does the statute say that if the vacancy's not filled, then there must be a special election? Or that you can wait until the next general election? Because I haven't grabbed that to read it real
Your charter
quick.
controls on how you select this commission.
Okay.
State statutes control how you conduct an election, but how you fill the commission seat is controlled by the charter. Charter says that you, as the commissioner, shall fill the seat. So, you have to at least take a stab at it.
Whether it's by appointment or by a special election.
Well, your charter provision goes on to say nothing requires a special election in the same section. So actually, your charter provision is specifically saying that the state statute is not going to apply in this instance.
What if four votes aren't
Okay.
garnered for
If you
this?
don't get the 4 votes, then you can't. It takes 4 votes to appoint them.
Where are we then?
Then you're back to square one. You can re-advertise and try to get some more candidates. You can reconsider at the next meeting, or you can, when the time comes, if you actually think it's that futile, as long as you've tried to fill it, you can call a special election. That's the only recourse we have.
The
But
state statute doesn't say that the commission has to call a special election.
that's right. The state statute doesn't control. The charter provision controls.
Right.
And the charter provision says the commission shall fill this spot. So take a shot at it. If you don't get the 4 votes, there's nothing requiring you all to vote because it's the only person here. But you have to at least make an attempt at it. And then if that doesn't work out, well then, ultimately, if we have to fill the seat and fill the way to do it, a special election, we'll do that.
And well, like I said, we've done this twice before. Well, I don't understand what the big deal is. We got a good candidate here with a good commissioner with Timmy, and we had a good commissioner previously with the former Mayor Chris Harden. So what's the big deal?
Like I said, there's no animosity. It just doesn't sit right with me. I think the people should make an important choice like this.
Then why didn't you
Whether
say
they
that
do it-
before?
Whether they do it in November of this year or they do it in July of next year.
Why didn't you say that before? We've done this twice already.
Well, I've got a little experience under my belt.
Well, and I think it's been pretty successful. We've gotten some good people on here.
Well, your thoughts are obviously different than mine, so we'll go to
That's
the vote.
usually the case.
We'll go to the motion.
Okay, now wait, let me just clarify real quick. We have to make an attempt. If the seat is not filled this evening for whatever reason, then we must either re-advertise or have a special election.
Right, you have to fill the seat somewhat.
But there's not a way, and I'm kind of playing devil's advocate here, everybody, so don't think this is my opinion necessarily, but there's not a way to leave the seat vacant until the general election next summer.
There's time
because,
constraints, I believe.
you know what I'm saying? Because of whatever reason. I mean, the last thing we want to do is waste taxpayer dollars on a special election.
That's right.
But I guess, and part of it, what I can see, and I've kind of thought this through, is, we're a democracy. And so you automatically think a vote of the people, and we have had a lot of change within our commission. And so it's like, wait a minute, are we going to end up ultimately being a commission of appointed people? So it's kind of just something that's different. This is new and novel to have 2 seats that are appointed by the rest of us that are sitting here. So I guess I'm just trying to clarify what our charter says and the law, and truly what are our options, or what are the ramifications of what we do. We all need to fully know what's going to be the consequence of our vote this evening.
Well, I think your 2 options tonight. One is either fill the seat, or if there's not a majority of 4 votes, and it's 4 votes, it's the remaining members of the commission, even if they're absent counted. If that doesn't occur, then the commission has to make a decision. Do you want to re-advertise and reopen the process, or do you want to call a special election? I think that the charter says specifically that this commission will fill the seat.
Okay.
I think hanging on for 10 months waiting for the filing period is probably not what the charter.
Right, that's pushing the issue, because it's a mandate shall.
Right.
And I think that's, okay.
If the one candidate that's submitted his application can't garner 4 votes tonight, it seemed to be fruitless to advertise again for more candidates.
That's the judgment of the commission.
Well,
Yeah, that's still our
but here
call.
I'll play devil's advocate, because at that point, even if we had a special election, that person might be the only one that files.
End of story.
End of story, there is no vote of the people.
No.
So, I don't know.
The
Okay.
people are still involved, the way I see it. I think it's better to have the voters of Shawnee make this decision than 5 or 6 people sitting up here.
You're telling me you have no confidence in your ability to,
I have more confidence in the voters than I have in myself, to be honest with you.
I won't go there.
Well, yeah, that's getting petty.
The charter
That's,
puts the responsibility on the commission to fill the seat.
okay.
You're trying to do it by appointment, which has been the tradition.
Right.
And but if it's, thwarted constantly, well, then you.
And that tradition predates us. I mean, this isn't anything we cooked up 3 years ago. It's been done for a long, long time. So, and successfully. And we've all moved along well. And again, the people in Ward 6 deserve that representation. And they have a good candidate that lives in that ward, that has good experience.
Well, and I don't think we're talking about him, though. And I think that's where we're making it personal towards Mr. Holt. And I don't think that's what this dialogue was about. So, I mean, let's not make it personal at
I'm
this point.
talking about the process.
The process. I guess that's what we're trying to educate about the
We have a
process, because I'm
chance
confused.
to change the process. I think we ought to try it.
Well,
I disagree for $8,200, so this is silly.
well,
Yeah. We do have a motion.
Well, from a legal perspective, I think the motion is premature. I think you have to make a determination on the individual first. You can't just automatically, the charter says you have to fill it.
Can't deny them.
It doesn't say, it specifically says you're not required to have a special election. I think
Okay.
you have to decide first off if you're going to fill it, and then make a motion to have an election. Don't do it that way. So I think the motion right now, as far as having an election, that's premature.
Okay.
That's not your first decision.
okay.
Well, since we don't have the other, I mean, it's,
Well, they're tied together, 6 and 7. agenda items.
It's spelled out. First, we have to consider conducting the interview. That's one at a time.
Right, that's what you want to do? Sure.
Okay.
Then I'll make a motion to conduct an interview with Mr. Holt.
Second motion.
Motion by Commissioner Stevens. Yes. Motion by Commissioner Stevens, second by Commissioner Young. Call roll, please.
Stevens,
Aye.
Young,
Aye.
Schran,
Aye.
O'Neill,
Aye.
Mills.
Aye.
Motion carries.
Motion carries, okay. So, now we conduct an interview, right? Carl? Before in daylight.
I'm rather confused myself, but we'll try it. Thank you, Mr. Mayor, Commissioners. Carl Hope, and I live out in Ward 6. And you have in your packets there my resume. I don't know where you want me to go with that or not, but I do have the reasons why that I have put in for this spot. So, if you want me to talk about how we got to this way, I can do that.
Well, everyone sitting out here doesn't have that information, so
Okay.
you might, just for the information for people watching on cable and for the people in the audience,
Okay.
give
I
us
can do
that
that.
little bit of that information.
I started this business at the age of 16 when I came a projectionist working at the local theaters. When I turned 18 in March 1953, I went into the public schools to see if I had enough credits to graduate. Yes, I did. I graduated midterm, and I enlisted in the U.S. Air Force. I was an aircraft mechanic. I also served as an aircraft crew chief. I believe at that time I had to make some tough decisions throughout my career. The last 4 years that I was on active duty in the military, I was an Air Force recruiter, where I had the responsibility of assisting young men and women in the possibility of them making a career or joining the Air Force family. 1976, I moved back to Shawnee and I went back to work in the projection room at Jones Theaters, working for Ronnie Jones. In 1978, I began my banking career. I worked at the Federal National Bank until 1982, when I moved to the American National Bank. Both those banks, by the way, have been changed. The names have been changed. But while I was at the American National Bank, I advanced to assistant vice president, and for both banks, I spent time in the personal loan department, making loans, etc., etc. While at the American National Bank, I was appointed a member of the Airport Advisory Board. I stayed on that board for 3-4 years. I was also a member of the Shawnee Kiwanis Club for a period of time too. In 1994, I was offered a position to work for Air Flight, Inc. And at the time, they were in charge of the fixed base operations at the Shawnee Airport. What I did there was handle their duties for the FBO at the terminal building. At the age of 62, I thought I had reached a point in my life where I was going to retire. It wasn't going to happen. I went back to work for Jones Theaters, where I'm at today. That's on a part-time basis, and I continue that today. Also during that time, I was appointed member of the Traffic Commission. And now I'm on my second tour with the Traffic Commission where I am today. I think where I got my experience on making decisions was in 1965. During my military career, I became actively involved in sports officiating. Some people may not understand that, but Leroy Kerbo does. What I did was I officiated 4 sports: football, basketball, softball, and baseball. Football was my main sport to officiate. I did that for 35 years. And I also worked college football in the state of Oklahoma in the Oklahoma Intercollegiate Conference. Did that for 15 years. One thing about that job, or working, I supervised an average of about 50 football officials, and if you don't think that that can be a challenge, sit at my desk or just call my wife and ask her, she will tell you. I assigned football officials in the Tri-County area for 25 years. And after retiring from high school and college officiating, and for the last 3 years, I am an observer where I go out and observe and critique officials and make a report to Oklahoma City. No, I did not see or have any comment about Shawnee and Noble. After retiring and working for 3 years, and I observed these officials from across the state, and I continue to do that this fall. In 2002, I was inducted into the Oklahoma Officials Association Hall of Fame. There are 4 areas that I really considered why I wanted to be a commissioner. My wife and I have lived in Ward 6 for over 20 years. I want to have a voice in matters that pertains to the citizens of this ward and to the citizens of Shawnee. I feel like I have a vested interest to both. Serving on the Airport and Traffic Commission has helped me to better understand the workings of city government. There are some very important topics now and in Shawnee's future. I will bring an open mind to the commission meetings. I will listen to the information presented, and I have the ability to make important decisions in a fair and an objective manner. I will represent the constituents of Ward 6 as well as all citizens to the best of my ability, and I'm going to use my best efforts to advance Shawnee. Since I am semi-retired, I have the luxury to give the position my full attention and the time necessary to fulfill the requirements of this position. And in closing, I'm reminded of this. And looking back at my younger days when my dad worked for the city of Shawnee as a police officer and later as the chief of police, I developed an interest and respect for city government. Today, I observe those meetings with that very same interest instilled in my youth. I understand, I know that there'll be some questions. I can tell you that I have known about this position since mid-July. We have not had representation out in Ward 6, and it's taken this long to find someone or advertise for someone, and when 2 meetings ago it was decided by the commission that you would advertise and take applications, I did just that. I put my application in. I don't know why anybody else from the ward did not, but I have an interest there. I have an interest to proceed with this come 08. I intend to do it. And I feel like that we need to settle this and move on. I'll take questions.
Okay. Pam, you want to start?
Sure. What do you see as the future of Shawnee with regards to economic development?
Well, the first place I see for that is the airport. I think it's very important, the airport. I have done some research on some of this. I've watched the commission meetings. I have taped the commission meetings. I have gone back and reviewed the tape, of the tapes. So I feel like that this is going to be a city effort, a citizen effort, a commission effort, and I fully intend to do to the best of my ability to take care of that. I don't know if that answered your question, but that's how.
That's fine, thank you.
Okay.
Any other questions? Tom?
Whatever happens tonight, whether you get the 4 votes or not, would you consider running in an open election next year?
Have no problem with it, sir.
Whether
None.
you win, lose, or draw tonight?
Makes no difference. I hope that it's solved tonight. I hope we get on a commission tonight. I think we need representation out there in Ward 6. And I believe that the further the delay, that the importance to the ward out there is going, we just need to have representation. But in answer to your question, yes. My wife and I had talked about this back in July, whenever I found out the rumors were floating around that this position was going to come open. I didn't hesitate. Already laid the groundwork for it. I have spent the last, I would say, 4 weeks, good 4 weeks, at the code enforcement of the 760 on the computer of trying to get myself acclimated to what this is all about. And I fully intend to do the best I can. I hope it can be resolved, and we're all happy about it.
Marvin?
I would like to ask about Ward 6, your constituency in Ward 6, but not only Ward 6, the whole city of Shawnee.
I'm sorry, I thought I had mentioned that earlier, that it was for Ward 6 and all the citizens of Shawnee to the best of my ability to advance the citizens of Shawnee.
Well, that's
It's just not Ward 6, it's for the city of Shawnee.
Well, that's what I was interested in.
But Ward 6 stands up because that is my ward.
I understand that.
And that is it's going to be Ward 6 and the citizens of Shawnee.
So you'll be interested in, I understand what you were saying, and hear me well. You'll be interested in the same Ward 3 as well as Ward 6.
All wards, ma'am. All wards.
I understand what you're saying, but I want you to understand what I'm saying.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
5 wards, 6 wards, all of them are the same to me.
Oh, okay. Thank you.
Okay.
Well, Carl, I appreciate you being willing to put yourself on the line here and be a volunteer here with the rest of us and trying to move this community forward. And you know how I feel. I've already made that clear. And I've seen your work on the Traffic Commission. I know of your work on the Airport Advisory Board. I had talked to Mark White previous to that to understand what kind of work ethic you have, and I would be pleased to have you on here. And Marv is right. We do have to focus on the whole city, and that's something that people don't understand a lot of time when they're running for this position is you have to live in a certain ward, but once you're elected, that all melts away, and we all become representatives of the community and of the city as a whole, and we expect the same focus in Ward 3 or 2 or 1 or 5 or 4 as we do Ward 6 and your passion, although that is where you live. Just like Marva, she's passionate where she lives, and all of us are. We know where those potholes are, and we know where those trees are hanging down and where that grass isn't being cut, and that's very important. Yes, but it's also important to know that we have to look at the whole city as we drive around and be involved.
Well, from the Traffic Commission, I have spent a lot of time outside of Ward 6 and made recommendations from other wards as well while serving on that commission.
Okay. Jimmy?
Carl, what do you see as the 3 greatest needs of the city of Shawnee, and how would you resolve those problems?
Well, the greatest need right now, or at least the first thing, or I think the top of the topic right now, would be that of water. We may have a lot of water out there in the lakes right now, but this commission, the city is going to have to get together, and we're going to have to think about on down the road. We know what has happened over the past few years with the lake going down. My first priority, I believe, would be that of water in the city. Second priority would be economic development. If we're going to do something in the city, we got to find ways to get that stuff to come to the city. We've got to do that. I've spent a lot of time going back and looking at tapes. I tape practically every one of these meetings, and there are some things that I have to learn as I go along. I don't know of a third. There's probably there, but those are the two keys to me right at the moment. Something needs to be; those need to be addressed, and that's why I said a while ago there are topics that are with the city now, and there's going to be some topics with the city in the future, and we have to be prepared to take them on. Thank you.
Any other questions? Okay. Thanks, Carl. Okay, number 7, discuss and consider appointing Ward 6 Commissioner. You guys have heard the qualifications, the desire to serve. Everyone's quiet.
I'd like to move that we accept Carl Holt as the representative from Ward 6.
Okay. I have a motion by Commissioner Young to accept Carl Holt as the Ward 6 Commissioner to serve until the next election, which is July. Is that right?
Yeah, I think filing is first or second week of June.
June, and then elections in late July, or
It's on primary.
around 25th or something like that. So,
In view of what I stated earlier, as I told Mr. Holt and the people here, it is without prejudice that I said what I said. I still firmly believe certain parts of our job should be turned over to the people, the voters. But in this instance, according to the advice of the city attorney, without upsetting the apple cart and dragging this out, I'll second the motion.
okay. Second by Commissioner Schramm. Other discussion?
Well, I'm not telling you all how to vote. I want to make that clear.
Okay.
Okay? I mean, 4 votes have to be independently cast to support this appointment.
Well, you didn't give us an alternative as if we don't get 4 votes.
Well, no,
I mean, do we get 40 lashes out back?
If you don't get the 4 votes, then you need to make a determination. Are you going to re-advertise, or is that hopeless, and then we're going to go ahead and call a special election?
John, relax. My second still stands.
I just don't want to make it sound like, well, John said we had to vote for it.
It's all your fault, John.
You know I'll never say that.
Okay, I never
We're
always
always-
tell you ever had a vote, so.
Wayne Trotter might print it, but I'd never say that.
Okay, call roll, please.
Young,
Aye.
Schramm,
Aye.
O'Neill,
Aye.
Mills,
Aye.
Stevens.
Aye.
Motion carries.
Motion carries. Thank you. So we'll either swear at you or swear you in at the next meeting, I suppose. That's the case, isn't it, with Judge? Well, the judge here.
The next meeting, so soon?
Or we
can't
can do it
do it
tonight.
tonight, huh?
Where's the judge?
We don't have a judge.
Oh, yeah.
The judge make house calls?
We could do that special call. We could do that special call, couldn't we?
Sure. Yeah, we could do that.
Special call?
We've already published.
We may.
Have we already published it? Oh, well, we'll need to do it next time.
Okay.
It's got to be published.
We need to do it at the next meeting.
Okay, that's fine.
Sorry about that.
But Carl, you still need to come to the special call meeting next Monday, because you need to be involved and know what's going on with the discussion with developmental codes and
6:30.
6:30. Next Monday, right. Okay, on to public hearings. Number 8, public hearing and consider an ordinance to rezone property located at 2610 North Park from C2 Suburban Office District to R3 Multifamily District for use as a fourplex housing. Applicant Westchester Development, OBO Joe Reynolds, LLC. Public hearing is open. Staff report.
Nancy McNair with the Shawnee Planning Department. Item number 8 is rezoning from suburban office to multifamily dwelling. This is a site on North Park that is currently vacant. There you go. The Shawnee Comprehensive Plan shows this as a commercial area, commercial/residential area. It is currently vacant, although this picture from several years ago shows an old multifamily unit on it. It was rezoned in order to put a commercial office structure on it, and a new medical building was built on the lot just north of here. If you see the structure that's outlined, the vacant property north of it does now contain a medical building, but this lot is currently vacant, and what they're asking is to rezone it back to a residential use and put a fourplex on it. The fourplex is in compliance with our comprehensive plan, and it's a good buffer between some commercial offices to the north and to the west, and the residential areas that's to the east and the south. The Planning Commission recommended approval of this rezoning.
Any questions from staff before we go to?
Nope.
Okay. Anyone that wishes to speak against zoning? Anyone for?
Hello, I'm Mike Little with Westchester, and I can answer any questions that you might have, or if you'd like to go ahead and just vote for it.
That would be your preference, I assume.
Will you have to make any sidewalks?
Pardon me?
Will you have to make any sidewalks in this plan?
No, there's not a. We'll find out later. That.
It's not on a collector.
We'll find that out later.
Sure.
No, not to my knowledge.
No sidewalks.
Okay.
Okay.
You may
And I do have a drawing you'd like to look at.
And this is for a fourplex. What's your time frame on this?
Well, I would really encourage the commission to hire another
Hurry.
inspector so you can get some permits out.
Okay.
But,
We're working on
We're
that.
working on it, okay? We're trying.
well, I'm happy. I'm just.
But time frame for completion? 'Cause this
he
is
hopes to
really
have-
necessary.
He wants to have it finished for students at OBU, possibly by next April, May.
Perfect.
So we'd start construction as soon as we get a building permit. We'd file for a permit within next week.
Okay.
No other questions?
Nope.
All
I
right.
can.
We'll close the public hearing then. Thanks, Mike. Entertain a motion.
I would move to approve an ordinance to rezone the property as per staff's recommendations.
Motion by Commissioner Stevens.
Second. No, go ahead.
Second by Commissioner O'Neill. Read the title, please.
An ordinance concerning zoning classification of following described property located in the corporate limits of the city of Shawnee, Potawatomi County, Oklahoma, to wit, lots 32, 33, 34, and 35, Block 6, Rose Garden Division, city of Shawnee, Potawatomi County, Oklahoma, according to the recorded plat thereof. Zoning said property from C2 suburban office to R3 multifamily dwelling, amending the official zoning map of the city of Shawnee accordingly.
Call roll, please.
Stevens?
Aye.
O'Neill?
Aye.
Schramm?
Aye.
Mills?
Aye.
Young?
Aye.
Motion carries.
Motion carries. Thank you. Okay, Mike, get the building. Number 9, public hearing and consider an ordinance to rezone property located at 2524 North Harrison from R3 multifamily and C3 automotive, commercial, and recreation to R3P multifamily with a conditional use permit to allow for a mobile home park. Applicant Norman L. Beebe, OBO JPR Investments. Public hearing is open. Staff report.
This site is a rezoning on an existing mobile home park. I'm going to go down to the aerial real quickly to show you. This is existing Shawnee Mobile Home Park on North Harrison. What the situation is right there at the front, whoops, right there where the H is on Harrison. is the entrance into the mobile home park. On the north side of that road are some vacant pads. That area is currently zoned for C3, and then initially they wanted to put some mobile homes there for sale, and so they could show them for sale, so it's zoned for C3. And the park was zoned R3 and has been for many, many years. Currently, our code requires a mobile home park to have a conditional use permit. And so by rezoning the whole thing to R3 with a conditional use permit brings it up to the current codes, the current zoning requirements in the city of Shawnee, and takes off the commercial use on those 6 lots and allows them to put on some mobile homes there for rental pads rather than for sale pads. Currently, they're vacant. The comprehensive plan shows that as existing proposed commercial residential uses. The Planning Commission recommended approval of this site. It is an existing mobile home park, and it brings the entire area up into the current zoning code requirements and is conformance with the comprehensive plan.
How close? Well, and I mean, I know the area well. I guess my concern is putting a mobile home so close to Harrison Street. Because, you know, a mobile home is probably going to involve children and Harrison Street. So I guess, how far is the first pad going to be set back? Do we know? Just for safety
reasons. The applicant might be able to answer that question. However, at the same time, I don't think we have it listed here. The Planning Commission recommended that the street side to Harrison have a landscape, not landscape, but a fence.
Okay.
And I believe that the applicant agreed to that request at the Planning Commission. So I'd like to bring it up at this point too, so
that's been addressed. Okay.
And is the applicant here?
Yes.
Would you like to address those two issues, how close it is to the street and the request for the fence?
My name's Norm Bybee. I'm the manager of the Shawnee Village Park. And to answer Pam's question, no, there will not be any children there.
Okay.
All of the pads that we have coming into the park that we're going to rent over there are all to adults.
Okay, so you all are going to structure that within your own organization?
Yes, I won't put kids out there by Harrison. I got too many of them back in the back that want to go skinny dipping in my pond. I don't want them out there on Harrison.
And there is a side fence, and is there landscaping along there to kind of beautify that?
There's no fence in front of Harrison, but from Harrison Street to my first pad's 44 feet.
Okay.
That's a lot of space.
It is. Okay.
And I've already rented the ones on the other side of the 6 that we're doing. I've got 3 brand new trailers in there, and all the trailers that we're going to put on there will be new trailers.
Okay.
I want
so
it
they're not
to look nice and for older people. Then 3 have got 80-year-old people in them.
Okay.
Pam's had a place out there for a while.
I had a rental trailer out there.
And we have the best credit department. That's not coming to me as a manager. Everybody that comes in wants to rent a spot, and I need those to rent.
Okay, perfect.
Thank you.
Putting on my Linda hat here, since he's not here.
Yeah.
You know, one of the issues that came from the comprehensive plan was trying to soften the gateways to our community. And we semi-accomplished that somewhat with landscaping, trees, shrubs and so forth, and so we don't have this garish commercial entry into our community. It makes it look like every other community, you know. And that was my question as to far as whether a side fence or landscaping or trees or something that softens that gateway. And this was part of one of the public meetings we had, trying to eliminate sky clutter and soften up, you know, behind. For instance, Kmart is a good example, and they've got a few trees and things there, but that softens up, or even hedges or whatever that hide parking lots and things like that, that makes it a little more green and hides some of the things, the commercial things. So that was part of my question as to why.
At the planning meeting, I told them that they wanted a fence. I put up a fence, but it's going to have to be a 4-foot chain.
Yeah.
Because when you pull out an Harrison, it's hard to get out of there.
Is there any trees along the front there, or is there anything at all? I'm just trying to remember.
No, there's 2 lights.
Yeah. But you know what, the one thing I can say is that area is always well kept.
Yeah.
It's not just like, it's not a pasture. Yeah. It's a very well kept community.
I would say the Planning Commission was looking for a site proof fence rather than a chain link fence there.
Right. it's maybe
Yeah,
not
and-
only site-proof, but maybe a little sound barrier as well, because there's a lot of traffic that goes up and down there, and I'm not sure, even 40 feet away, not sure I'd want to be that first trailer, with all the traffic that goes up and down there. So, but a lot of it's sight. It's too far. What is the look we're trying to achieve? And part of that is why we're wanting to 4-lane Kickapoo, but yet part of that plan is also landscaping along through there and making it a friendly, warm feel for when people, and getting the poles off the curb, taking them in the back alleys or in the ground, getting rid of the sky clutter so it's more open, and again, just warmer and friendlier, which is who we really are. So, and again, this is what the citizens wanted from us as a result from those public hearings. And it's our responsibility to continue to uphold their wishes for what this community needs to be.
And so this is in compliance with the comprehensive
The
plan?
land use is, yes.
The land use is, okay.
As far as the fence goes, is it possible to put up a site fence further back so that we do have that beauty? Right. Is it possible to move the fence any further to the west?
If they want me, I can put a fence, or like the mayor said, I can put some trees out there and make it look.
Right.
Give a little barrier.
Yeah, I have people that take care of my yard.
I'm just thinking if you could put up put a fence a little bit further to the west, you still have that right there, shrubs or trees, whatever it may be. Okay.
Right.
Is
Safety
that-
has to be an issue.
John, at Kubota, do you recall, is that pretty close? Is that a problem? Okay.
Their fence is pretty, if you look at the picture here.
Right.
On the south side,
I see the
you
tractors.
see about 4 tractors right there. The one to the right, to the east, is pretty close to
Oh, I
the
see.
fence.
There's a line right there.
And then
That white line.
That's the
They have a white
sidewalk.
fence, don't they, or something?
Well, the sidewalk is right there.
Yeah, those 3 on this side are new trailers. The 3 white spots.
Oh, yeah. No, I'm looking up to the north there where trying to see that fence. We see the orange tractors up there just south of the building, and I'm trying to determine that white line right there, if that's, is there a sidewalk there?
You can see my grass, Mayor.
Okay. That's right on.
It's right up to,
Okay.
we mow right up to.
Well, I think we need to be careful with the fence and make sure we don't create a
Right.
site problem
Right.
like we have out
Traffic issue.
at Phillips 66 or whatever it is, where you can't see around the
On the
retaining
wall. Right.
If the applicant would just agree to maybe help soften the entryway and,
Yeah.
because we don't want to make a safety issue there.
Right, trees or something.
I think that would go a long way. And
Soften
that,
the
I think
entryway
so.
some.
one of the problems we had is Harrison was so developed already commercially before we had this comprehensive plan that we missed a lot of opportunities. And we had a few that we were able to do, try to enforce. But for the most part, we've missed the boat in trying to soften up that major
Yeah.
gateway into the community. So, and I just hate to miss another opportunity, not to put any more burden on yourself, but you understand where we're going with this as far as trying to be, and for you as a business person with commercial operation on that gateway, you want it, I'm sure, to look as warm and friendly and inviting because people want to live there.
Right. It's kind of a mixture of that commercial residential stuff, because
Right.
it's commercial for his company, but it's residential, and
For
then
people to
that's a
live there.
community.
Right, absolutely.
Can we get some trees? That's all we want are some trees, Norm. We want trees.
Okay. Anyone else wish to speak for? Anyone against? Okay, I'll close the public hearing. Entertain a motion.
Motion to approve the rezoning as per staff recommendations with some trees.
With some trees. Okay.
Second.
And you'll be watching for those trees, right?
I will. I go by there all the time.
Okay. Have a motion by Commissioner Stevens,
Second.
second by Commissioner Strand. Read the title, please.
An ordinance concerning zoning classification of following described property located in the corporate limits of the city of Shawnee, Oklahoma, to wit, a tract of land described as beginning at a point 516 feet south of the northeast corner of the northeast quarter of Section 7, Township 10 North, Range 4 East, and Indian Meridian, Potawatomi County, Oklahoma, then south 165 feet, then west 363 feet, then south 619 feet, then west 972 feet, the Atchison Peak and Santa Fe Railroad right-of-way, It's northeasterly 900 feet, then it's east 841 feet, then south 116 feet, then it's east 363 feet from point of beginning. Zoning said property from R3, multifamily dwelling, and C3, automotive and commercial and recreational, to R3P, multifamily dwelling with conditional use permit, amending the official zoning map of the city of Shawnee accordingly.
Call roll, please.
Stevens?
Aye.
Tran?
Aye.
O'Neill?
Aye.
Mills?
Aye.
Young?
Aye.
Motion carries.
Motion carries. Thank you. Number 10, public hearing and consider an ordinance rezoning property from C3 automotive, commercial, and recreational to C3P automotive, commercial, and recreational with a conditional use permit for property located at 9 West Farrell to allow for the sale of beer and alcohol for off-premise consumption in C3 automotive, commercial, and recreation district. Applicant George Davis. Public hearing is open. Staff report.
Yes, this item is on South Baird. Is an application for a alcohol and beer-related retail store for off-premises consumption. On the comprehensive plan land use map that you see up here, it is located in an area that the plan recognizes as being low-intensity residential area, neighborhood-oriented areas. In the last several years, the City of Shawnee Plan Commission and the Commission have adopted two major plans, one being the 2005 Comprehensive Land Use Plan, Future Land Use Plan, as well as the Dunbar Heights Action Plan, which did a little more in-depth study and projection and future land use issues related to just the residential area in this general vicinity. Southeast of the site that we're looking, where the red star is, southwest of the site in that general area. One of the main things that both of these plans seem to have in common is recognizing this as a residential area in need of protection and in some form of comeback, of help to get it reinvigorated, to get it going again. And some of the major items that both of these plans seem to address, if I could just read one small comment that applies to both of them, is, give me a second here, wrong sheet, is elimination of uses that negatively impact the residential areas, and to incorporate complementary uses that are neighborhood related and that are neighborhood oriented. And with those items in mind, and with the protests that we have to date had 25% legal protests, and that means property owners within 300 feet of this location. We have, however, had several petitions and well over 100 signatures on both those petitions, which is outside the 300 foot. We're not sure if some of the people on those petitions are inside the 300 because we didn't have their addresses. But legal protests 25 and about 99 to 104 or so out total protests. In the area that it appears to us in many forms that this type of use doesn't meet the criteria in terms of residential-oriented complementary uses, and the plan actually goes on to state that some uses that fall in those ranges. So for those comments, the staff has recommended this does not meet the comprehensive plan. This is some pictures that you have on the handouts that you have in front of you if you need to look at them closer, of the four corners there of this site. The site that is requested for the conditional use permit is currently vacant. It's on the southeast corner of this site. On the northeast corner is a gas station / convenience store that is currently also vacant, not in use. And the northwest corner is a commercial building. And the southwest corner is an office. And you can see in this picture the majority of the area being residential in nature. We also have the Shawnee Community Center, which is also closely related to this site, just a little bit to the southwest. There have been problems in this area before, and I'm sure that possibly your people here will address those to you as well. Anyway, as a final comments here, the Planning Commission did recommend denial of the request for the conditional use permit. It is zone C3, and there are a lot of C3 uses that could go there that are more neighborhood-oriented. Based on the comprehensive plan and based on the Dunbar Heights plan, we feel that this request is not in conformance with the plan, and also request denial.
How large is the lot, do you know, as far as what can be developed in there?
Yes. Okay, it is 2,100 by 150.
Okay.
Not 2,100, that's the area. I'm sorry, it's 140 by 150, it's 2,100 square feet.
Okay.
What type of uses does the comprehensive plan and the Dunbar Heights plan contemplate being in this area, if not this type of establishment? What are we talking about? So where everybody understands.
Okay, let me see if I can find
Service
the
businesses
list.
primarily.
Service businesses. I can find the
Like
list.
dry
Okay,
cleaners.
yes,
Right.
dry cleaners.
Restaurant.
Of course, I've got to find the. Okay, such as neighborhood grocery stores, restaurants, pharmacies, dry cleaners. Uses that are oriented toward the neighborhood and support the neighborhood. Services, neighborhood
Right.
services.
Okay. Other questions of staff? Okay. I have a feeling we have people that are against, and maybe the applicants here are for, so we'll, let's talk to the people that are interested in doing this first, I suppose. Is the applicant here?
You can see.
No? Well, okay. I suppose there's people that may want to speak against. Is there? No? Okay. Yeah, please. We'd love to hear from you. I already kind of know because I was part of this Dunbar Heights Neighborhood Action Plan, so I know quite a bit about it, and I didn't think this quite fit, but you can confirm that for me.
Hiram Ryan. I'm representing Dunbar Heights Community Group and also the Galilee Baptist Church, who has property pretty close. Some of you may know, some of you may not know. The police department should be opposing this more than anybody. The alley joining the property on the south is barricaded on both ends now to control drive-through drug and liquor sales. You could just drive your car through, roll your window down, they come out and ask you what you want, and you pay them and they take it and go. Those barricades are still there. Probably at least 15 went to prison, but it's a lot better now than it used to be. If we put a liquor store there, we're advertising it to come back. Really, we welcome business in the community. We're trying to build it up. But I don't think, and I realize that the guy who wants to put a liquor store in, he's thinking about commercial income, which is good. But I don't think it's going to help the community because that is already a low-income area. We have lots of low-income problems. We have a lot of single-family dwellings, and we have a lot of youth growing up in that area. So I don't really think, since it's already kind of at the lower, well, that whole area of Shawnee is what we call low-income area of Shawnee. So let's not make it any worse. I think that's enough.
Thanks,
Any
sir.
questions?
I think you made your point. Well spoken. Okay. I'll close the public hearing. Entertain a motion.
I'll move that we deny the the ordinance.
Motion by Commissioner Young. Second by Commissioner O'Neill. I know. You still have to read the title if we vote to deny it?
Anytime you vote on an ordinance, yes.
Okay, then read the title.
The ordinance concerns unclassification of foreign inspired property located in the corporate limits of the city of Shawnee, Oklahoma to wit, lot 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, and 12, block 131, amended plat of the city of Shawnee, Potawatomi County, Oklahoma, according to the recorded plat thereof. Zoning said property from C3 Automotive Commercial and Recreation District to C3P Automotive Commercial Recreation District. Conditions is permit and then officials on the map, City of Shawnee accordingly.
Call roll, please.
Young.
Aye.
O'Neill.
Aye.
Mills.
Aye.
Stevens.
Aye.
Schram.
Aye.
Motion carried.
Motion carries. Thank you. Now, by the way, I have been contacted by an individual that would like to put a restaurant on that corner if that fails, so that hopefully will be the right thing to do. Okay, number 11, public hearing and consider an ordinance to rezone property located at 3922 North Kickapoo from R1 Single Family Residential to C1 Neighborhood Commercial for Software Development Office. Applicant George Eastiff. Public hearing is open. Staff report.
Yes, this property is on North Kickapoo. It currently is a daycare center, or at least has been a daycare center for several years. It is a corridor along there that several years ago the plan tried to recognize as existing residential, but in several years past that time, we've begun to realize that this is a transitioning commercial area, and the last plan did recognize that as a corridor that will be transitioning from the residential that is along there to the commercial. This site already being a daycare center, they would like to just change it from the R3P for the daycare into the C1 neighborhood commercial. Neighborhood commercial would be uses that are neighborhood oriented, closer, a little less intense than any higher ones. The use is a fairly low intensity use, and if the applicant is here, I think they said they would have 4 to 5 employees. There's no retail sales. There are no customers that come into it, so the parking would be employee only. It is a small building as well, so it's very low intense use. The Planning Commission recommends approval of this project. You can see on the comprehensive plan, again, is a strip, a corridor, commercial, residential corridor. Where the star is where this is approximately located. There's commercial across the street from that as well. They will have to probably do additional work for parking to bring it up to the requirements that they will need, because parking is not based on number of employees, but it's based on the gross square footage of the building.
Right. Okay.
Planning Commission recommended approval, and it does conform to the comprehensive plan.
Okay. Questions of staff? Anyone that wishes to speak against? Anyone for? Applicant, I assume?
No.
No?
My name is John Bunch. I'm the Executive Vice President of the Easted Business Group. We're a Shawnee-based company. We've been around for about 10 years now. IT consulting firm, Tech Rescue. This is our software development firm. We are a premier casino management software developer. That's slot accounting, player tracking. We compete with IGT. We're doing our best, since we were born and raised in and around Shawnee, to put Shawnee on the map. And proudly I can say that people in Las Vegas know where Shawnee, Oklahoma is now. But that's yes, like she said before, about 5 employees, our programmers, our developers. Give me an office, so place to call home. So we'd appreciate it if you approve it.
I'd say with all the casinos around us, Vegas knows where we are anyway.
Yeah, they do.
For a different reason for you.
We outgross them. So.
Okay.
You better believe it.
Other questions of the applicant? Thank you. Thanks, John. Okay, I'm going to close the public hearing, entertain a motion.
Motion to approve the ordinance to rezone the property.
Motion by Commissioner Stevens.
Second.
Second by Commissioner Strand. Read the title, please.
An ordinance concerning the zoning classification of the following described property located within the corporate limits of the City of Shawnee, Potawatomi County, Oklahoma, to wit, Lot 4, Block 1, College View Addition, City of Shawnee, Potawatomi County, Oklahoma, according to the quarter plat thereof. Rezoning said property from R1 residential to C1 neighborhood commercial, and amending the official zoning map of the City of Shawnee accordingly.
Call roll, please.
Stevens.
Aye.
Schram.
Aye.
O'Neill.
Aye.
Mills.
Aye.
Young.
Aye.
Motion carried.
Motion carries. Thank you. Okay, number 12. Public hearing and consider an ordinance to rezone property located at 722 North Harrison from C1 Neighborhood Commercial to C3P Automotive Commercial and Recreation District with a conditional use permit to allow for a tattoo studio. Applicant, Luis Hosino?
Lewis.
Lewis, oh, sorry. Hosino?
Hosino.
I got part of it right. Sorry, Lewis. Public hearing's open. Staff report.
Yes, item 12 is an existing commercial building, strip commercial building on North Harrison. There are 5 storefronts at that location. The application is for the southern storefront at 722 North Harrison to allow that use, a conditional use permit to allow it to have a tattoo studio at that location. Harrison is, as we've talked about earlier, is a commercial strip corridor, expecting more commercial activity and development in the area as the years go by here. On the aerial, you can see the location right at the, where that little star is, right at that southern point of that building is 722 North Harrison. Commercial around it, residential behind it, which is why it probably initially is C1. The uses in there are office and retail. The Planning Commission recommends approval of this site. It is in compliance with the comprehensive plan, and that is located in the commercial corridor of Harrison, and we didn't have any problems with its use.
Staff questions?
No, I just have a comment.
Okay. You can comment.
Uh-oh. No, I just want to say, and Mr. Hacino will be up here later, but, you know, this is something new for the city. But I will say that this young man spoke to the state legislature about the current state law concerning the licensing of tattoo parlors, salons, stores, whatever you want to call them. And so I just, when he comes up, I want him to share a little bit of that with us, because I think this is just something new to Shawnee, and everybody just kind of initially goes, ooh, tattoos. But, you know, they are state licensed, and he was just instrumental. And this is just a great story of him working with Chris Steele to enact this legislation. So when he gets up here, I just want him to talk, because he's a great young man.
Okay, let's do, is there anyone that wishes to speak against before we go forward? Okay, don't see anybody speaking. So, Lewis,
Come on up, Lewis.
come on up, give us your story. As Pam says.
You didn't know I was going to put you on the spot like that, did you? Okay, well, I did.
Good evening, I'm Louis Hacino. I'm going to be the owner and artist of this establishment. And Pam was right. I was pretty instrumental, I believe so, in the legalization process. And just so happened that Chris Steele happened to be the representative for this district, and he was actually the chairman of the Health and Human Resource Committee. And through speaking with him, which was scary at first, to be honest, but I got a totally different perspective on the way government works, and by going to the Capitol, he was really open-minded and listened to what I had to say. I've been a tattoo artist for about 10 years, and to be honest, I've always done it illegally. There was no regulation here. So it was good to actually see that Oklahoma came up to speed on this and actually is regulating it and making a safe place for people to get tattooed, basically, and regulating it, and with the health department's regulation, and it happens. People are getting tattooed, and it's good to have it regulated and have safe places they can go and get tattooed.
And what type of licensing do you have?
I have a individual artist license, which is issued from the Consumer Protection Division of the Health Department, and I have a shop license, which actually I went and purchased today. And they came in and inspected Wednesday, and everything, a thorough inspection, and everything checked out, and they okayed it, and everything's in order.
Is that inspection through the health department?
Yes.
And is that something that they'll come back annually and inspect to make sure it's clean?
Mm-hmm.
Twice a year?
Twice a year.
Okay.
They'll come in and inspect, make sure we're keeping our records right.
The city has no permit that you have to purchase, do they?
Not that I'm aware of. I've not been informed of any permit.
Just the state health department.
Health
City
department.
doesn't do business licensing. The only permitting we do is this special use permit.
Okay. Other questions?
Just a suggestion, you might consider that the special use permit would also require the maintaining the health department permit.
Okay.
Okay. All right.
Is there any other questions?
Guess not.
I
Thanks,
have
Louis.
to ask,
No.
is this your normal attire?
Yes.
Pretty much
It
so.
is.
Yes.
The young lady with you is, she worked there too?
Actually,
She what?
actually, she's the first tattoo apprentice in Oklahoma. I'm the first apprentice.
Tattoo
master.
apprentice?
Mhm.
Oh, okay.
She's my apprentice.
Can she do a Navy destroyer?
I bet she can.
She isn't at that point yet.
What about an anchor?
She might be able to handle that.
He was actually asking about your attire because he's kind of jealous, really.
Yeah. I used to wear my hair like that.
Is your memory that good?
No, it was once a year in October, I believe.
Oh.
Just kidding you. Just
Yeah.
kidding.
Thanks, Louis.
Thank you,
Appreciate
guys.
it. Want to wait for Marvin?
We should wait for Marvin.
Okay.
Oh, wait, not Marvin. Remember the last time we waited for Marvin?
There's only 5 of us here.
Okay.
Is this an official recess?
No. I'll close the public hearing.
You don't have to go here again, do you?
I'm not going to. We're going to wait patiently.
Well, there's 4 of us here.
It's not to pass.
We could tell her all about it.
Yeah. What do you want to do?
So while we're waiting, we could talk a little bit more about this. What I was going to say is that the state health department really does regulate this to a greater degree than a lot of businesses.
Right.
And in fact, if they moved, they have to notify them immediately. They
What-
can't, just
From
because
what I
of the
read,
license
the
doesn't mean they
state,
can go anywhere. So the statutes and the laws are very well written and very well regulated, so they're not, just because he's licensed can't go anywhere and do it. This specific spot is licensed only by the health department, which is, it's a good protection for the cities, and I guess that's why they kind of did it that way, is to, being a new use and a new statute, that's kind of a little more controlled,
Right.
which is good for the cities, and we were very concerned, like anyone, when it's a new use into the city, that what's going on. But in review of the statutes and talking to the cities, it's not an issue out there that we could really find.
Right. Okay. Yeah. Let's entertain the motion. Let's move on.
Go.
I move to accept.
Motion by Commissioner Schran,
Second.
second by Commissioner Stevens. Read the title, please.
An ordinance concerning zone classification of the following described property located in the corporate limits of the city of Shawnee, Oklahoma, to wit, the south 40 feet of the east 75 feet of the north half of block 12, and the south 40 feet of the north half of block 19, Richard Mary's addition to the city of Shawnee, Potawatomi County, Oklahoma, according to the recorded plat thereof. Zoning said property from C1 neighborhood commercial to C3P, automotive, commercial, and recreation district with conditional use permit, amending the official zoning map of the city of Shawnee accordingly.
Call roll, please.
Schran,
Aye.
Stevens,
Aye.
Mills,
Aye.
Young.
Nay.
Fails.
Fails?
Back to square one, waiting on Marvin.
Well, we have to consider a revote on that
Yep.
Yep.
Let's get her in here.
before we move on.
Yep.
Okay.
Murder me.
Might as well get your camera ready, Wayne. Laura took too many pictures today, huh? Oh, she's got the good camera. She's got the good camera. No, she shouldn't have a good camera.
This camera, this is a better camera.
Oh, okay.
However, don't change.
Hi, Marvin. Come back.
You just can't go?
You missed our vote.
Yeah.
Now what do we do?
We had a vote, and you have to have 75%. Is that it? Or over 75%?
You have to have a majority of the commission, which
Gotta have
would be
4 votes.
Oh, it would be 4.
4 votes.
Okay. We're voting on passing this ordinance to allow this regulated, state-regulated tattoo parlor to be at this location by changing the
Changing the
classification,
zoning.
allow that to happen, so.
And you
It's
missed
not,
the
it's not
vote.
an issue of whether you like tattooing or not, it's an issue of, are you going to allow them to be at this location, or is it going to be another location of it, you know, really?
And you missed the part of it's in conformance with the comprehensive plan.
Right.
So we voted and it failed. Do we have to ask to
We have 3 for,
reconsider?
1 against.
Okay, I will ask to reconsider the vote.
Well, actually, reconsideration has to be moved by the prevailing party.
I second.
No, it has to be moved
No.
by the,
Prevailing party.
No.
Okay, Timmy.
no pressure. She might vote with you.
What do I have to do what?
Yeah, you have to make a motion to reconsider the
Motion to
vote.
reconsider.
To allow Marvin to vote.
It just means you're allowing a reconsideration upon the vote.
So that Marvin can vote.
Maybe
I'll move that we reconsider the motion.
Motion by Commissioner Young,
Second.
second by Commissioner Stevens. And you understand the vote now that we're about to take?
Agenda item 12.
No, we're voting to reconsider.
Oh, we're going to reconsider first.
Right, we got to vote to reconsider
I
first.
got you. You're right. I'm getting ahead of myself. Trying to move along here.
Come on. It's okay. This is confusing this evening.
And you say,
We're just voting to
Okay.
reconsider this vote.
We're voting to vote again.
That's right.
Yeah, we're voting to vote again
To let you vote.
so that you can
Allow
vote.
you a fair opportunity to
Yeah,
vote.
there you go.
Then I have to excuse myself.
Call roll, please.
No, you're staying here.
Young,
Aye.
Stevens,
Aye.
Schran,
Aye.
O'Neill, Mills.
All right.
Motion carries.
Okay. Now,
Now, I can make my motion to approve the ordinance to rezone the property in accordance with staff's recommendation and the comprehensive plan.
okay.
I second.
Motion by Commissioner Stevens, second by Commissioner Schram. You understand what we're doing?
no, I don't understand, but I,
We had, real quickly, Marvin, we
zoning
had,
change.
it's a zoning change. The staff recommendation was that we approve the zoning change because it's in compliance with the comprehensive plan.
so if they don't get it there, then they'll have to, they'll try to put it somewhere else.
In a
But
different
Right,
location.
they can bring it back.
But they will be in
Sometimes they
Shawnee. That's what you're telling me.
Right.
Regardless to whether I
well-
vote against it or for it.
No. They're wanting to put it in a location
Right up there.
that is not currently zoned to allow them
To operate.
to have a conditional use permit because our ordinance doesn't recognize tattoo places currently because it's been a change in state law. So they have to get a conditional use permit in order to be at that location on Harrison Street. Staff's recommendation was that type of business
Is okay.
is okay within our comprehensive plan. That's what we anticipate to be in that location, that kind of business.
And this is one of the things that we're going to talk about through the
Yes.
development codes because we're trying to get ourselves up to date with state law.
Right. And these people are state licensed. They've done everything they're supposed to do. They just need the city commission to say, okay, you can have a conditional use permit so that they can open up their business here in Shawnee. And I made a motion to approve that staff recommendation to allow these young people to have that business. Does that make sense now?
It makes sense. but
Okay.
It was one that's going to open up down close to my little snow cone saying we denied that.
No, that was the other one.
No, that's the liquor store.
No. Y'all understand
There
me?
was a tattoo parlor that's going to open?
It was one right that.
It couldn't have been because the state law just went into effect, Marva, in November.
Okay, but what I'm saying is, it was one that old building right across the street. They wanted to put a tattoo place right there, and that place is up for sale right now.
No, different location.
That might have been
They-
a rumor. That might
They
have been a
just
rumor.
recently legalized tattoo places in Oklahoma. This is the first time the city of Shawnee has ever seen
That
this.
place was never brought before us.
Right.
For
Yeah.
zoning request.
Should have been a rumor.
It was a rumor. This is out across kind of from the bowling alley,
Right.
out on Harrison Street.
So we're going to vote unless you're, you got another question? I mean, you understand?
I
Wanna make
understand,
sure,
but I'm
'cause
just saying.
we had this discussion, I know where you're going, some of it, so just want to make sure.
You can't leave anymore.
I wait till I leave. Don't come get
Every
me.
time. You just have to stay.
I'm leaving on the next one.
No, you're not. Okay, we have a motion and a second, right?
Right.
Are we voting?
I think so. Call roll, please.
Stevens?
Aye.
Tran?
Aye.
O'Neill?
I have to go by my name.
Mills?
Aye.
Young?
Nay.
Motion fails.
Okay. So they'll have to go back, if they want to, through the planning commission again, and they'll have to come back up to us.
Yep.
Maybe when we have full, sorry guys,
Reconsider it the next meeting.
we can reconsider it the next meeting? Okay.
Okay.
It'll be the first Monday
And third
of
Mondays.
October.
October 1st.
First of October 1st.
We only meet the first and third Mondays.
October 1st.
So we have to be reheard because everybody's not here, right?
Well, because it was denied, but you can be reheard
Right.
when we have more people, if you would like.
We potentially then will go ahead and have 2 more people. Okay.
Thank you.
Sorry, thanks. Okay, number 13. Consider approval of the final plat for Woodsong Garden Phase 2 located east of 45th between Harrison and Bryant, applicant Bryant Development. You have a staff report?
Trying to remember to tell myself what to do for the next meeting there. Okay. This item 13 is a final plat, phase 2 of Woodsong Edition, Garden Edition. Oops. It is west of Bryan and north of 45th Street. This is the second phase, as the final, for the first phase was approved previously. It is, there we go. That's good. The engineering plans for public improvements have been submitted, and the engineers here if you have any questions on those, but at this point, the improvements will be put in, and at that time, the improvements will be brought back to the City Commission for acceptance. This is for acceptance of the final plat and the right-of-way that are included in that final plat.
Okay.
I move to accept staff's recommendation.
Motion by Commissioner Strand,
Second.
second by Commissioner Young. Other discussion? Call roll, please.
Tran?
Aye.
Young?
Aye.
Stevens?
Aye.
O'Neill?
Aye.
Mills?
Aye.
Motion carries.
Motion carries, thank you. 14, discussion regarding priorities relating to major city projects. Carry that.
This was put on here by Vice Mayor Peterson. It's my understanding that there was a desire to have a general discussion concerning the greatest priorities for the city.
Yeah.
You mean as far as Kickapoo or the airport or water
Right.
or whatever, huh?
Linda and I talked about that, and I would ask that we just defer
Defer
that.
until she gets back?
Yeah,
Okay.
let's defer
Good idea.
until we have everybody here.
Okay, do I have a motion to defer then?
Sure.
So
Motion
moved.
by Commissioner,
It's just a discussion.
Right.
yeah.
It's just, I guess we'll have to do that then, don't we?
We need to defer it though? No? Yes, John?
No.
No, technically you don't.
Okay.
I mean, you can table it definitely, or you can, if you want to set it for a date certain, you probably have to do a motion. But if you're just going to just take it off the table until some,
Oh, she can just add it back next
Yeah.
time? Okay.
Let's just
let
take it
go.
off the table.
Okay. 15, consider approval of engineering services contract for airport improvement projects at the Shawnee Regional Airport. Staff report.
Jerry Sharp, at the airport. Basically, what we have here is a consider approval for engineering services contract with LBR Incorporated at the airport consultants. At the September 4th, 2007 meeting, the City Commission authorized staff to select an engineering consulting firm and negotiate an engineering service contract. Staff is recommending the approval of the retainer service contract with LBR Incorporated, and also approval of amendment number 1 on that issue. Total cost of these engineering services will be $55,510, of which the FAA will contribute 90% of it, and that will come to $49,959. And the city will be responsible for the 10%, $5,551. The budget amendment transferring funds from the economic development ending balance of the Shawnee Airport Authority will be used to pay the city's portion of the 10% match requirement. I don't know if you want to talk about the amendment number 1, but basically this calls for the following services shall be added as of section 1A 1P, which is on page 137. But basically it breaks out other prices as far as provide plans, specifications, and reconstruction of portions of the access apron serving hangar 4 and 13. And this was in the this falls under the AIP project for Shawnee Regional Airport. That comes to $31,600 for that portion of it. The preliminary geotech testing for the above project is $3,470, and complete the primary field survey for the above contract is $2,800, and I'm having trouble seeing this. It's kind of dark over here. And the additional LBR will, great, thanks. LBR will provide a normal grant administration for the 2006 NPE, which is non-primary entitlement grant. The portion of this document must be submitted to the OAC no later than October 1st, and that's $12,890. Any questions?
You had 4 firms that a committee picked. It was airport advisory board members, and you narrowed down to this one as the best selection for those engineering for those projects.
Yes, indeed. Now we can go into a lot of other stuff as far as the contract, but I think we'd just be kind of wasting our time.
All right. Well, you had Mike Adcock, and who else on that? Ron Davis.
Ron Davis, myself, and who was the fourth? I can't think off the top of my head. Ron Davis, Mike Adcock, myself, and I can't think.
Another advisory board member.
Think of it either.
I'm drawing a blank.
Wasn't Dick Romine, was it?
No,
Somebody
wasn't
else
Dick
on
Romine. Let me go around the table trying to determine.
Just if I could just step in, it was a solid process.
Yeah, okay.
And I think the recommendation is
It's sound. Okay. Entertain a motion.
Motion to approve.
Motion by Commissioner Stevens.
Second.
Second by Commissioner O'Neill. Call roll, please.
Stevens.
Aye.
O'Neill.
Aye.
Mills.
Aye.
Young.
Aye.
Schran.
Aye.
Motion carries.
Motion carries. Thank you. Okay, 16, discuss and consider increasing the percentage of funds allocated to economic development from the 7/8 penny sales tax deferred from 8/20/07. Understand that the Economic Development Foundation's requested additional time to develop that plan. Is that correct? Do we have a date specific? Okay.
Why don't we just pull this off the table for now? Can we do that?
Sure.
Good.
And then when they're ready to bring something
Okay.
back, because I know we've had a lot of discussions.
Right.
So,
Okay. So we need a motion to
I don't think so.
remove it? No, just let it die? Okay. Moving right along then. 17, Consider an amendment to ordinance number 2247 NS regarding sidewalks continued from 8/20/07.
Request we defer this, just bluntly put, I could not get to it, given everything else that's going on.
Too many hats?
Yeah.
There was too much.
OML.
So is it off the table, or do we have to do a motion?
I'll bring it back to you as quickly as we can.
Okay, so off the table until you bring it back? That seems to be the way to go.
We can do it next meeting.
Okay.
Been on the table for 3 years.
Continue it to,
1 October?
we need a motion for that?
Yeah, we can do that.
Okay.
First meeting in
Motion.
October.
Well, should we wait for Toomey to come back?
Does it require, well, we have 4.
Well, we're assuming.
As soon as he comes back.
I hate doing that. Okay, Marvin, we're gonna abuse him like we abuse you coming back in.
And you get to go get him, Chuck. You get to go get him.
Well, it's Tom's turn.
Yeah.
Tom wanted to break anyway.
3 votes will be sufficient. You're not voting on an ordinance.
3 sufficient?
Okay.
All right.
Motion to defer
Motion by
to the
Commissioner
1
Stevens.
October meeting.
The 10-1, okay. Motion by Commissioner Stevens,
Second.
second by Commissioner O'Neill. Call roll, please.
Stevens,
Aye.
O'Neill,
Aye.
Schran,
I
Mills.
could have done it, you know.
Aye.
You're about to get in trouble.
Motion carries, thank you. Okay, 18, here's an easy one. Throw you a softball here.
Okay.
Approve a resolution changing the name of Woodland Park to Woodland Veterans Park.
I so move.
Second.
Motion by Commissioner
I want
Tran,
you to do that.
second by Commissioner
You guys did it
Stevens.
last time.
We military people get to do this
Want to
one.
read the title on this?
Resolution change the name of Woodland Park to Woodland Veterans Park, amending section 1 of resolution number 5957 as relates to the park name Woodland located at Highland and Broadway.
Okay. We voted in the tattoo parlor.
We voted you out.
Sorry about that.
He likes this one, you can tell. Okay, we got to approve the resolution on changing the name of Woodland Veterans Park. Call roll, please.
Schran,
Aye.
Stevens,
Aye.
O'Neill,
Aye.
Mills,
Aye.
Young.
Aye.
Motion carries.
Motion carries, thank you.
Could I ask one question while we're on this 18? I noticed the sign says welcome to. Are they making up a new sign? They took Woodland Park down.
That's good. That's a good thought. We'll come up with a new sign.
Okay.
That's a good point.
Okay. 19, consider work session regarding stormwater drainage management.
Second. I'll go up there. I appreciate the 2 gentlemen that spoke under citizens' participation concerning the flooding issues. We are all cognizant of it. We got hit pretty good. We did get hit near as hard as those cities almost pretty much immediately west of us, and for that we're grateful. This is a complicated issue. It's complicated not only for Shawnee, but for everybody. We had a lot of discussions about this, as you can imagine, at last week's Municipal League Conference. And we really do need to have a work session that's dedicated just to stormwater management. We've been talking a lot about it at the annex. I had Mr. Kryricky come up with a map, and that he will be presenting during the work session that we're requesting. The city really owns very few drainage easements. The majority of them are privately owned. Having said that, there are some options that we have, but it's a very complicated issue, and we need to hammer this dude out. So I'm strongly requesting that we do set this work session as soon as practical, sometime in early October, if possible.
I know, I was surprised to find that, there's a lot of people that think, well, the creek doesn't belong to them behind their house. They have a fence up there. Maybe they bought the house and the fence was already there, and the creek's just, gone wild with trees and shrubs and underbrush and all that. And most of that is a responsibility of the property owner. And they don't do it. They don't go back behind that fence, hey, that's just wild and crazy. Well, it's all grown up. We have a big flood like this, a 100-year flood, and, all of a sudden it's backing up into everybody's yards, and we have a problem. We don't have the right to go on to private property and spend those public funds to clean out those creeks. So we have a host of issues there that we've got to identify and deal with, and I know one of the things that we've considered is pulling together community work days where people will come out with chainsaws and, things to cut that stuff and get it out of there. And that may be what it takes to help people that can't afford or don't have the right tools or ability to do that. So anyway, I agree with you. So I think this is a no-brainer that we need to do that.
We definitely need to talk about the ones that the city's responsible for
Right.
and get those taken
We could
care
fix
of
that.
first
Right.
before we
And
start
then help the
telling
other
private
people.
homeowners,
Right.
hey, you've got to fix yours because we're going to set the standard.
I agree with that,
So
and
let's talk about it.
Yeah, and that has to do with manpower allocations. We're going to need to talk about allocating some money for capitalized labor to get these issues addressed. It's been a weird year, The water year, according to USGS, runs from October 1 to September 30th. Last water year, if you remember, was the second driest on record. This year, it was the second wettest, which is a real interesting swing. So we need to hammer this out as a community. The only thing that we really need to talk about, I'm going to bring this up again under my remarks when we talk about next week's work session, which we can't combine them. We'd be here until dawn. Is the whole issue of how we run the work sessions in terms of citizen inputs. Okay, you need to decide whether you want to do it as a public hearing, work session, or just kind of think about what you want to do with. And I don't know if I'm communicating correctly, because in a work session generally you don't take comments from the floor, and so that's something to
Well,
consider.
we may need a work session and then a public hearing.
Perhaps.
Once we
Something to
educate
think about.
ourselves and the public can be educated, then you eliminate some of those concerns because we're all educated. We understand the issues, the problems, and then if there's anything left beyond that to a public hearing, then you get down to the real things that we missed, possibly.
Sure. Yeah, again, it's two schools of thought on that. It just depends on your approach, because again, accessing the really the intelligence of the community per se. The staff are the resident experts per se, but we miss things from time to time. So,
But you
that
start,
would be
but you
good.
start with the structure and the law.
You betcha.
And that has to do with who owns the property and who's responsible. That's where you start.
What the maps show,
People can get
what the
up
terrain
and complain
is.
and say it's your deal, and we come back and say, well, no, it's not.
Yeah.
But we're going to say that up front, and then take what's left legally and deal with those issues.
Absolutely.
That's what I'm thinking.
You bet. And of course, I'll be speaking to the budgetary aspects of it too, and what our options are.
Right.
So, I was thinking the second Monday in October. So we're going to have 4 meetings in a row, y'all. It's up to you. Well, we could do the 4th Monday or something, whatever.
Do we have somebody internally to discuss this and enlighten us, or do we have to go to state agencies?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, no, Mr. Kyrecki's already been working on it, and Nancy's been helping. We've had a lot of discussions on it.
Okay.
You bet. There'll be a presentation both on the terrain and engineering issues, the carrying capacity of the land and the existing
About funding.
sewer structures, and I'll be speaking to the funding issue as well as Neva.
Okay.
It's a good question.
So we're thinking the 8th.
If you want to, or we could take a little bit of a break since we're doing 3 in a row right now. It's up to y'all.
And go
And or you could you can think about it and tell me next week for that matter. It's up to y'all. Because we don't really. It doesn't take a motion to set a special meeting. I mean, I have the authority to ask for a special meeting per se. Whatever y'all want to do is fine with me.
Why don't we do 3, skip, and 3?
Yeah.
I think that might be better policy making in the long run, just because of the mental energy is required.
And it'll kind of give us a break.
Right.
Yes, ma'am.
Maybe.
Okay, let's do that.
I think the 22nd?
Well, whatever that date is.
Yeah,
then.
22nd.
Yep.
Thank you.
6:30.
October 22.
Yes, sir.
Okay, excellent. Thank you.
Okay. Ready to move to 20? Consider bids. A, Edwards Whitaker Culvert Replacement Award.
This item is a recommendation of award for two drainage projects that came to light during the flood, heavy rains of June, middle part of June. And as such on that, the budget was already established and set, so these projects don't have a line item. We have reviewed the three bids that were, or the two bids that were submitted, and on page 154 of your packet shows the tabulations, and the low bid is submitted by Westchester Development of Shawnee in the amount of $110,809.16. We would recommend award of this project, but it's contingent on coming up with some funding for it. As I said before, the budget was already established, so we don't have a line item just for this Edwards Street and Whitaker Street drainage projects. But we do have some unallocated money in the street fund. On page 155, we show $289,361 unallocated, which is available if the commission so desires. Now, I understand from Don Lynch we will be getting some money back from FEMA. I don't know how much that's going to be yet, but when we do get that back, we can put it back into the fund balance.
Okay.
So that would be my recommendation.
Can I comment on that?
Okay.
Again, John, as I understand your recommendation to take it out of the unappropriated 289.
Yes, because we don't have a line item for that, and the budget was already established before these came to light, so to speak. So we didn't have time to budget for it.
Yes, but the 1.1 million has not specifically been targeted yet.
No, that's for street projects, right?
Yes, but again, that both of these come out of the street fund, both the 289 as well as the 1.1, correct?
Correct, but the 289 is the unallocated. It's not allocated for anything right now. So
I understand that. The point I'm trying to make here is the decision point is this: whether you take it out of the 289 and then cut that any balance down to what, 179, 110, is that what I remember?
yeah, it was $110,809. But then when we get reimbursed from FEMA, I don't know how much we're going to be getting back from FEMA or how quick, but we would put that back in the.
Standard on that is a 75-25 cost, so we probably would get 87.5% back, but we would have to contribute 12.5% of the city.
Okay, is there like?
Whatever the total project would be.
Okay, again, just so everybody understands, it's going to take that big down to 176 or 177.
Yes, it will. It will.
And any balance on that thing. So if something happens, like another big washout or something, then we're going to have to rethink that. And again, I'm fiscal conservative, so I'm being very consistent in my thinking here. I would prefer you to think about taking it out of 1.1. Now, granted, there would be a decision to pull it out of the street, but Mr. Kyricki has not presented the street plan yet. So that's the consideration.
No, I haven't. No, I haven't presented that yet. But these streets right here probably wouldn't have been on the major street reconstruction. These are just culvert and channel replacement there on Edwards and Whitaker. But wherever don't matter to me where the money comes from. We have to do it. The road's been
Okay,
closed.
that's the important.
Right.
Is this has to happen?
Yes, the roads have been
Okay.
closed all summer.
And you're preferring that we take it out of the 1.1 as opposed to this money?
Because I think that we need to protect that unappropriated balance, and it's
Okay.
something I'm anticipating happens.
And if we don't use it, we can always roll it over and use it for something else, right?
That's correct.
Okay.
The weather's unpredictable. And,
Absolutely.
This is a low,
You think?
relatively low balance in this fund. So again, and I don't mean to overstate this, but I've always, my whole career, I've been a fiscal conservative, and my recommendation is to pull it out of 1.1.
You are consistent.
And out of that 1.1, that's not going to impact the FEMA
Yeah,
percentages
they're relevant to
and-
FEMA, just so the city pays for it.
Okay.
It's a good question.
Okay. Well, then,
The motion would take a modification from the present from the presentation, or and really didn't take.
We're just recommending award of the project.
Just awarding the project.
Okay.
It'll come out of the 1-1. rather than
And then with
anything else.
guidance from us that it'll
Right,
come out of
we
the
can do
1-1.
that.
Okay, my motion then would be to approve the award to Westchester. And based upon the city manager's recommendation as to where the funds should come from, that we defer to his judgment and take it from the 1.1 as opposed to the current staff recommendation.
Right. Motion by Commissioner Stevens,
Yeah.
I'll second.
second by Commissioner O'Neill. Call roll, please.
Stevens?
Aye.
O'Neill?
Aye.
Mills?
Aye.
Young?
Aye.
Tran?
Aye.
Motion carries.
Motion carries. Thank you. 20B, Country Club Lift Rehab, open.
Well, I'm up here for the West Tech paving, but we can do B.
You have to sit down. You get a break. Got to catch you and get along.
Thank you.
This is the bid for the rehab of Country Club lift station. I'll give you a little story here. The original money that we have in the budget was $110,000. After we got started, this takes care of the whole east side of town. So we took into consideration future development. Then the engineering cost estimate was $238,000. This is the biggest lift station we have. If there's a lot of wheat fields and stuff out there that's going to develop, there's people further north that got water that's probably going to want sewer someday. So it's a real important project, and we've had a lot of downtime, and it floods the golf course. It's wore out, and it was put in 79. So, all that being said, I just wanted to defer to the next meeting and look for money and make sure the bids are high. That it's
Well, you guys are looking for money.
well, Don's got some. Where'd it go?
We've been discussing this for about 3 years. And we talked about it in the last three budget sessions. The 3 budget sessions I've done, we've talked about this.
But if we would stay with the 100,000, it's kind of like how we've talked about the Atoka, thinking ahead.
Yeah.
Well, if we do this, we're fixed
Right.
for a good while, and it's the main one.
Okay.
We'll
Okay.
bring it back to you with the budget recommendation.
Okay.
Oh, yes.
What? Oh. I know I forgot something. Slattery Construction, $257,599. Bowen Construction, $267,430. Jordan Construction, $230,263. Ron Welcher Construction, $188,790. How's that?
Okay. So that's going to be referred to the next meeting, right? C, West Tech Road widening, open.
This is the bid opening for West Tech paving east of Harrison. We only received one bid from CGC LLC.
in the amount of $661,945. The engineer's estimate was $523,000 on this, so we're going to ask that this definitely be deferred, maybe for a couple of meetings, because I need to get with the Second Fox Nations engineer and get with the Second Fox Nation representatives. If you remember, this is a project that they were to pay 100% of the construction costs. We were just letting it and going to inspect it for them, and it was being treated like a developer type project instead of them bidding it out and doing it. We were going to do it. So we would recommend to defer this item.
And again, we budgeted $523,000.
Based on their commitment.
Right.
But it wasn't, the 523 is not any of our money. We showed it as a revenue source because they were going to pay for it 100%.
Right.
I just need to get with them and see if they're willing to do it.
So it's going to be cost neutral.
Right. This was also going to be a 3-lane concrete curb and gutter street. We may be able to tweak it down to maybe asphalt or something to get within their budget. Okay.
Need a motion for deferral on this?
If to a date certain, yes.
Okay.
Two meetings, John, that was fine?
I would prefer.
Second meeting.
October 15th. Okay. Have a motion?
Motion to defer, C.
Motion by Commissioner Schran,
Second.
second by Commissioner Young. Call roll, please.
Schran.
Aye.
Young.
Aye.
Stevens.
Aye.
O'Neill.
Aye.
Mills.
Aye.
Motion carries.
Motion carries. What about the country club lift rehab? We have a deferral there. We missed that one.
The next time.
We need a motion for that? John?
Yes.
Okay.
Motion to
Clean that
defer to 1 October.
Motion by Commissioner Stevens,
Second.
second by Commissioner O'Neill. Call roll, please.
Stevens.
Aye.
O'Neill.
Aye.
Mills.
Aye.
Young.
Aye.
Schran.
Aye.
Motion carries.
Motion carries. Thank you. 21, new business.
None.
No new business?
No new business. I'll have a few administrative reports.
Okay. 22, administrative reports.
The work session next Monday night, I want to give a little bit of commercial. This is a big deal. Really asking the citizens to come in, particularly the development community. We're going to have a presentation on the update to the fire code that we're recommending to bring to you, as well as the building code and the development code. Nancy informed me that the consultant who is putting this thing together will be making a formal presentation as well. Nancy will be advising us. This is a joint meeting of the City Commission and the Planning Commission at 6:30 next Monday night. So I would greatly encourage everyone to attend, and I think everyone can see the linkage to the work session we're going to do on the 22nd of October to deal with the drainage issue, which is a development issue as well. The other thing I have in administrative reports is last week, several of us with OML, it was a good session. It was in Tulsa, and I was very pleased we were able to host a dialogue on tribal municipal issues. Chief Dan Jones of the Poncas was our lead speaker. Representative Lisa Billy from the Native American Caucus, as well as our Chris Steele and a few others participated. So one of the better municipal league conferences I've attended in my career. So, and that's really about it we have on administrative reports, unless you have questions.
Go ahead. I was just going to say, can we get some input on, I'm still getting lots of complaints about trash.
Okay.
And whether or not we are fining Allied Waste for failure to pick up trash when reported. Do you think the next meeting, maybe we could get a breakdown of just how many complaints we're getting and what we're doing as a city to rectify that situation with Allied?
We will do that, you bet.
Thank
That's
you.
a good suggestion.
I agree.
Yeah, you bet.
Nothing on flooding or down there. Okay. All right. Commissioners' comments. I'll get fired up on Centennial here, you know that.
Yep.
One thing I would like to point out is the Gordon Cooper Technology Center has a sign on the side of their new building that says, "Welcome to Shawnee, Oklahoma, elevation 1070, the aviation campus," and this is a picture of it. So we finally have some recognition of people arriving at the airport that they actually are in Shawnee, where there was no sign before, so that's kind of nice. And we have also in that same deal, they've got the Gordon Cooper Masonry Department actually did the brick and I guess wrought iron Centennial fence around Centennial Park. There is a time capsule located inside this. We didn't go underground after what we saw what happened to the car. So we're above ground, and this is supposed to be open in 100 years. Who knows what it'll look like. There's all kinds of things in there. The Centennial celebration, again, is huge, starting with, this is going to be in the Chamber newsletter. Has a front and back of all the events. This will also be in the Shawnee Sun. Will hopefully be in the Shawnee News Star. Will be on the Shawnee website and also running on Channel 30 on our cable channel. So you see all the things going on, but again, it kicks off Friday at 11 o'clock down at the depot. And Saturday is just, like I said, craziness. There's something to do, a lot of entertainment. We have a street dance as well as the statehood ball going on at the same time, so you can pick a venue either way. Fireworks will be at 9:45. We'll have everybody outside on Bell Street, looking off to the east is where the fireworks will go off, and that'll be the finale. So look forward to everyone being down, especially for the parade at 10 o'clock on Saturday and all the other unveiling of many events and activities. We did have a great municipal league. Commissioner Stevens was there, Vice Mayor Peterson, and myself, and Jim Collard, Neva was there as well, getting acclimated to what's going on here with the municipal league, and we had good tribal municipal relations as far as global trade and domestic trade, so had a good time. I am fortunate to have been elected to the Municipal League Board and am proud to represent our area and our community with the direction that the Municipal League will take through a transition of finding a new executive director. So I'll be bringing back hopefully some little tidbits and information that will enlighten everyone in this community. So other comments?
Yes, I have a comment. I watched this at different times, and I know that I'm a black woman, but it's just so dark. And then when you see my glasses, it looks like I'm a blind person up here. You can't see me. I mean, I've watched it. And when I first came as commissioner, it said that something's going to be done about this, but it hasn't been done yet. And Tim is real dark on here. And I've watched other black shows. People are not near that dark. And so I want to know if something can be done about that so people can see us when we talk and not just see my glasses like I'm a blind person. You can't see me at all. And they told me to wear light clothes. I'm wearing light clothes, but you still can't tell I'm here. You can just see that I'm fumbling through this thing here, doing this, and it's nothing derogatory towards no one, but I like to be seen as the human I am and not as a blind person.
One of the things that we have, of course, we talked about this dark paneling in here. One of the other things that we talked about doing, and hopefully will happen soon with some of the money we're going to get from the franchise, was to drop a camera down from the ceiling here that would actually be closer to us and that can rotate to the audience. And hopefully we can add even a T-shaped podium here so that, I don't know about you, I've been to a lot of commission chambers, even in Japan and around the country and around the state. And typically people that come up, they address the city commission. They're not addressing the audience, they're addressing us. And that may be something that we'll be working on shortly too. But I really like the camera up here that can pan for speakers, and maybe we'll have better microphones, and that may help. Plus, we can lighten this up. And I know we talked about that, Jim, when you were first hired. So we may want to come back here and lighten this. That'll help as well. But a closer camera will help.
And like I said, we have worked on the lumens a little bit, and we've done already. That's a good point. We'll fix it.
Okay. All right.
Thank you,
Take care of
Obama.
that.
I appreciate that.
You bet. That's a real good point.
Okay, nothing else? Then would we have a motion to adjourn this part of the meeting?
So moved.
Motion by Commissioner Strand,
Second.
second by Commissioner Stevens. Call roll, please.
Aye.
Stevens.
Aye.
O'Neill.
Aye.
Mills.
Aye.
Young.
Aye.
Motion carries.
Motion carries. Thank you. I'll open the meeting for the Shawnee Municipal Authority, September 17th, 2007. We have a quorum. Consider approval of consent agenda.
So moved.
Motion by Commissioner Young,
Second.
second by Commissioner O'Neill. Call roll, please.
Young.
Aye.
O'Neill.
Aye.
Mills.
Aye.
Stevens.
Aye.
Tran.
Aye.
Motion carries.
Motion carries. Thank you. Administrative reports. New business. Motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Motion by Commissioner Schran,
Second.
second by Commissioner Young. Call roll, please.
Schran.
Aye.
Young.
Aye.
Stevens.
Aye.
O'Neill.
Aye.
Mills.
Aye.
Motion carries.
Motion carries. Thank you. Open the meeting for the Shawnee Airport Authority, September 17th, 2007. We have a quorum. Consider approval of consent agenda.
So moved.
Motion by Commissioner Young,
Second.
second by Commissioner Schran. Call roll, please.
Young.
Aye.
Schran.
Aye.
O'Neill.
Aye.
Mills.
Aye.
Stevens.
Aye.
Motion carries.
Motion carries. Thank you. Administrative reports. New business. Motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Motion by Commissioner Young,
Second.
second by Commissioner O'Neill. Call roll, please.
Young.
Aye.
O'Neill.
Aye.
Mills.
Aye.
Stevens.
Aye.
Schran.
Nay.
Motion carries.
Motion carries. Thank you. We are adjourned.